Hello everyone, in this video I want to share with you my favourite opening that you can play in White's perspective. So it is the Queen's Gambit. So it's actually the decline variation, so in my opinion it's the best opening that you can play from White. So starting out with a d5, so getting a strong opening with this d4 I mean, with a strong opening which controls these two squares and expects black to push forward. So also defended by the queen, and it unlocks the bishop's potential to go across this dark square diagonal. So black does the same, and they control these light squares, so it's a strong opening move. And we push open with this c4 pawn. So the queen is now activated, the knight can be activated now, and our queen side is starting to develop. So the c4 pawn also attacks this d5 pawn and challenges the centre, as if this pawn takes immediately, we can simply push open whilst attacking with this bishop, and now white has a completely stronger centre if black decides to capture. That's why, in my opinion, this is my favourite opening. So from here, black decides to decline the gambit by playing e6, so developing this dark square bishop, and also developing the queen. Also, this bishop can be moved to d7 for an example, as it still defends this pawn here. So, and further to mention, these knights can enter these two squares here. Right, so now we open our f3 knight out onto the board, so it defends this d4 pawn, and it also attacks this dark square. And now black attacks the centre on this light square and defends their pawn here. And now we develop our other knight, so it attacks these light squares from black and attacks this central pawn, creating even more pressure on this pawn here. So black goes ahead and attacks this moves to b4 and attacks the c3 knight. So we simply defend with our bishop. So you could have also played a threat with this queen on queen to b3, which would have kicked away this bishop. But they simply would have played the knight to c6, in which you can't really capture this. So in this position, black goes with knight b to d7, and it's e3 here, so if any captures take place, then the bishop can simply retake and gain a strong position on the board. So going back in this position, we're going to castle. So after black castles, they have developed their king side, and from here we have queen to c3. We could be preparing a queenside castle here, or we could wait for this bishop to come out and do a kingside castle. Already it looks as if white is far more developed, as this rook has space. Even though this rook doesn't, this bishop can easily be activated, as it already defends this square here. The knight is attacking the centre, and so is this knight here. The queen attacks this light square, and it can double up with the bishop to cause a lot of harm on this square. So already looks as if white is very developed. So after captures on this c3 square, the bishop is going to capture, and black decides to play h6. So we play b3, which strengthens up this pawn chain, and we have b6, which could prepare the fianchetto of this bishop. So e2 here, it would be a good time to capture on this square, as it reduces white's tempo. They've simply just moved one square, and the bishop's simply going to have to move again. So black does this, so captures, but instead white ruins the pawn chain by capturing with the pawn, as they don't really want to reduce the tempo of this bishop. So now they can prepare a castle either side. However, you'd prefer to castle on this side, as this side is looking very weak, as the pawn structure has been damaged. So after the bishop has been fianchettoed to bishop to b7, we have a castle. So castle's on the king side, and we have knight to e4, so creating a lot of pressure on this bishop here. So, and also this knight cannot be eliminated, so you could move the bishop to d3, which creates a lot of threats along this diagonal. Also, it forces this knight to move, as it would be double attacked, and maybe you'd have to open up the king side in order to defend, which allows white to attack even further. So, moving back the bishop to b2, even though it keeps along this dark square diagonal, you want to keep it here whilst protecting these pawns, as both the bishops are protecting these central pawns here. So now, as the queen moves to e7, white is going to move to d3. So it attacks this knight, forcing it to move out of the way, and also creates a lot of pressure along this square here. And as the knight retreats, we play c5, which causes even more pressure to be added onto this knight, as the pawn chain has been formed in this position. So this is personally my favourite opening. to play as white. So it's the most, it's what I'd go for the most time. So opening up with d5. In the next video, we're going to be playing from black's perspective, and we should play the Sicilian defense, which is, in my opinion, the best variation to play as black if white opens with e4. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.